So when I hear people say, "Oh, it's just like the variants in the '90s," you're wrong. You're wrong. There was variance, but not even close to the degree what it is now. Hey everyone, welcome to Comics with Bueller. As always, I'm Bueller, and welcome to the brand new coffee show. This is episode 94, and as you can see, I'm not alone. Bob is back. Bob, how you doing?
Back in the saddle again, loving it, feeling much better.
Where were you?
Oh man, I was in hell. That was terrible. I never want to revisit that again. I'm just glad it's over. Ryan did a great job.
Yes, he did. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan, for filling in. But I got to tell you, I missed last week. I missed being here. I'm glad I'm here. We've survived the fires so far. And but you know, last week was horrible, and I'm glad it's behind me, and I got good things ahead.
There you go. Yeah, I missed you. A lot of people missed you last week. Ryan did a great job filling in at the last minute, so thank you again, Ryan. But it's nice to have my good companion here, Bob. The normal Bob, the regular Bob. He's feeling a lot better today. He's looking better. And so
thank you.
Welcome back.
Appreciate it. I just want to say, for those of you in the comments that sent me well wishes and get wells, thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys. It really touched me.
Yeah. A lot of great things I had to say about you. Apparently people like you, Bob.
I guess so, and that's awesome.
Very nice. Before we get started, I want to say really quick, this is going to be a very long episode. This is, we got a bunch of different things to talk about. Our topic is going to be a very long one. We will put timestamps down below, so if you want to jump to a certain part of the video, you can do that, but this is probably going to be our longest coffee video to date, to be totally honest, because we got some other things we're going to discuss. But some of the regular things we discuss is the coffee that we're drinking.
Yes.
And the coffee we're drinking today is brought to you by Mocha Express, the official coffee shop of Comics with Bueller. And today I'm having, what am I drinking?
A hazelnut latte.
A hazelnut latte, an old standby, to be honest. Mm-hmm. And, I almost went with the peanut butter, but I decided to go with hazelnut. So I'm going to give it a shot. Ooh, it's tasty.
Tasty is the word.
That was a little weak to you on the last episode. Did you like that?
I did.
We actually talked about that before we did the video.
That's funny. I was cracking up. I was like, oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah. What are you having?
I got my mainstay, got my cold brew. I missed my cold brew last week. Sugar-free vanilla sweetener. It's more than tasty. It's freaking divine.
There you go. And from Mocha Express. Let me talk about the fires for a little bit.
Sure.
And because a lot of people have reached out and asked how are things going, how you doing. And honestly, we just look out the window to our left or to our right, and it is pure smoke here. I mean, you can't see like 50 feet in front of you. The smoke is so thick. Luckily, the fires in our area are on the other side of the river. Right. And there's two big rivers in between us and the fires. So as far as the fires jumping the river, it's probably not going to happen, and there's no wind. If there was wind, it would be a different story. But it's really calm right now. It's very eerie outside because it is so calm.
Yeah.
But we are safe. Besides the air quality being horrible, and besides a lot of other people, unfortunately, losing a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of people are misplaced, or what's the word? Displaced right now?
Displaced.
Yeah. And they've had to come our way to evacuate. A lot of homes have been lost. I mean, we had a fire here on, Tuesday? That was right in my backyard, pretty much. And I'll just tell you really quick about that one because a lot of people asked. Basically, just a fire right down the road started. I was actually in my room. I had fallen asleep. And I don't know. I just was tired. And it was like in the middle of the day. It was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And our neighbors across the street have been doing some housework. So they've been like banging and hammers and like the nail guns and everything for like the last few days. So when I heard someone banging on my door, I thought it was the neighbors doing their construction. I didn't realize what was going on. And so I did get up and I look on my phone, and on my phone it says, "Are you okay?" It was from my buddy Damon. And then I walk out in the living room and all the power's off. And I'm like, what's the deal? Because it was fine when I went to sleep. And then I walked out the front door, and when I walked out the front door, there's some officers walking up and down our street. And he's saying, "Get out now. You got to leave right now." I'm like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Look at that." And I look to the left, and there's a big, huge fire going on. So I'm like, crap. I was kind of caught off guard. I grabbed the cat. I grabbed my laptop and a couple other things and hopped in the car, and I was off. So down to my buddy's house, and I went to my mom's house. Luckily, there is a building in between where my place is and the fire was, it's pretty much made of steel and stone. It's the music place or whatever it is. That kind of halted the fire, but it did go around the building and on the side of the hill by the house. But luckily, there was a nice big driveway that the fire department could get to, and they were able to put out the fire before it got down the hill and to us. So it's only about 100 yards away is where they stopped it. But as you can see when you drive over here, people lost their homes.
Yeah, there was like 6 homes lost right back here.
Yeah, but the boat is still there.
Unbelievable.
There's some random boat that's been sitting on the side of the road for like a month. I don't know why it's there. It's an old boat. It made it. But the house that it was next to, totally gone.
Totally gone.
Totally gone.
Unbelievable.
And a few other ones as well. And I'll tell you this. I walked down the street to I was going to take some pictures. A really sad moment. The people that own the house were there going through what they could find, in the rubble and stuff. And it was very little. But I didn't take any pictures and stuff. You could kind of see the expression on their face. And I felt really bad. But very fortunate that, we're safe. I think going forward, I think we're okay. Like I said, there's rivers in between us and the fires, and I guess it's supposed to rain on Monday. So,
hopefully. Yeah, I mean, we're still in the what they consider the evacuation zone. We're at a level 1. When it gets to level 2, that's when you're supposed to really get ready because level 3 they get you out.
Yeah, I'm packed up. I'm ready to go.
So are we. And, when that happened over here, I remember seeing the news, and they mentioned the road, which I knew was this one. Yeah. And they mentioned it was by the freeway, which I knew was right near you. So I started panicking, trying to call you. And then I saw your video, and so I was very glad that you were okay.
Yeah.
But the next morning, I was so worried that your house was gone.
I was. There was a part, I'll be honest, that night, there was a part of me to where I was sitting on the couch at my mom's, and I just kind of looked down, and I was like, this is all I got. Tomorrow, this could really be all I have.
That's right.
And it hit me for a second. I kind of got a little emotional and stuff, a little inside. I didn't really show it. I'm a man.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I did. I was like, tomorrow morning, this could be all I got. And I don't know. It was kind of sobering to think about that, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
Luckily, it fell on the other end of that to where we're okay. So, but it did hit me there for a second. And a lot of people have experienced that, in their lives. I mean, I know of other people who have lost their homes because of other circumstances and lost all their belongings, and to have to start over is not something I wish on anybody.
No, not at all. The next morning, still being freaked out about the whole thing, hopped in my car, drove down here, found out the house was okay, and I started texting, your house is fine, bro.
Yeah, we actually snuck over here late that night.
Did you?
Yeah, and we walked down and stuff, to see. We actually snuck into the house and grabbed some stuff.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, we were like, because they were still all here fighting the fire, but we felt pretty safe. So me and my son snuck down here, walked about a half a mile to get into the house, grabbed a bunch of stuff, grabbed my 4 main books, some clothes and some other stuff, and then hiked back out, just in case. So, but we felt pretty good that night. It was late at night when we did that, but it is what it is. But we're safe, and thank you so much to everyone who reached out and asked. There's been so many emails or messages, and I just want to tell you guys thank you so much for taking the time. It really does. When you get all that response and stuff, I really do feel cared about. So thank you to everyone who reached out to me, and also Bob for that matter. So appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Anyway, let's switch gears and get back to our regular show.
Sure thing.
Okay. I want to thank our partners, our friends, our sponsors of the channel really quick. Obviously, we got Comic Proline. All the information is down below if you want to contact them. We got Blackbox Comics. If you want to go to their website, enter the code Bueller10, you save 10%. We also got Scout Comics. If you go to their website, you enter the code Bueller, you save 10%. And Bob, you have one as well. Which one do you have?
TKO Studios. You can go to TKOpresents.com, I think is what it is. And you put the code in everything20, you get 20% off your first purchase. You got a lot of great stuff over there right now.
Very cool. And they got some new products coming out too. Yep. I think Wave 3, I don't know when it hits, but looks pretty good. So there you go. You got a bunch of different options, a bunch of different codes, save some money, get some books. Nothing better than that.
Nothing better than that.
I want to tell you guys, we got a few things coming up. Just so you guys know, we are going to be partnering with CBCS, the grading company. We're going to have Steve Borak on the show. He's the godfather of grading. pretty much I'm going to tell him to try to convince me to get a book graded. You know how I feel about grading books.
Yep.
So I'm going straight to the president of the company, and it's up to him to try to change my mind and convince me to get a book graded.
I can't wait to see this.
I don't think he's going to do it. But I'll give him a shot.
Yeah, why not?
So anyway, that's probably coming up in the next couple of weeks. And then also we will be featuring Scout Comics next week. We're going to talk about a different way to receive comics. And we're kind of putting the definition for the question. You'll find out on Wednesday exactly what that is. But we're going to feature Scout Comics and some of the new things that they're doing to bring comics to our front door. So it should be fun. I also want to say really quick, there was a great comment on one of the videos asking us how we feel about shipping comics. And it's a great topic that we might hit on down the road. We might combine that with a bunch of other topics as well. But do me a favor. If you have a topic suggestion, email me comicswithbueller@gmail.com. That's the best way to get a hold of me. That's kind of it's not my private email, but it doesn't get all the notifications from the YouTube stuff. So I can find stuff a lot easier on that one. So comicswithbueller@gmail.com. If you have any ideas for topics or stuff you want to hear us talk about, that's where you should send those suggestions. Let's go ahead and do our first segment really quick, which is a new segment. We're reviewing a product.
That's right. We are.
We're reviewing a product. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Look, he's not. He's like, I was going last week. What's going on? We're doing something new? Okay. So this product is brought to you by Comic Proline. Mm-hmm. Okay. Obviously, they're a sponsor of the show. They sent, you can see all these boxes right here. They sent like a case of boxes. And these aren't just regular boxes. These are plastic boxes. Now, I want to show you. This is their older one. And I'll hand that over to you. Mm-hmm. And that's the old design. That's obviously it's a black. And don't pay any attention to the color. You can get them in multiple colors. Black, white, I think gray as well. I prefer the white ones. Mm-hmm. So here they are. So I was talking to the owner of the company. Mm-hmm. He's like, I want to send you these boxes. I want to know your honest opinion on them. He's like, don't be afraid to, if you don't like them, say it. And I go, okay, no problem. I don't think he knew that I've already had some in the past.
Right.
I don't think I mentioned it to him. And that's one I had in the past. Now, when I had that in the past, I talked about it, and to be totally honest, I didn't like it. I didn't like it because I noticed right away there was a design flaw. And the design flaw is the way the box is corrugated. It's going up and down instead of left to right. And what that does, you can see right down the middle of that box that there is a crease, and it folds like an accordion because the strength is in the wrong spot. What they've done, they fixed it. Mm-hmm. So this one right here, the new one, it's going from left to right. So there is no accordion thing. It's a lot stronger. So right there, I like it. That was my main problem, was the fact that if your box was full and you picked it up, it would bend inwards. Now, since it goes left to right, you don't get that with those boxes. So, that being said, now that they've fixed the design flaw, I'm a fan. And you know what? I'm going to replace every single one of my boxes with these because they sent a whole bunch of them.
That's awesome.
I got some for you as well.
Appreciate it very much. Yeah. I mean, when I came in today, he asked me, he put both these boxes in my hand and asked me, can you tell a difference? And the first thing I said was, this is a lot less sturdy. Yeah. I have one of these at home as well. Yeah. And the same design flaw. Yeah. It just doesn't feel
that's why I gave it to you. I didn't like it.
Yeah. Thanks, dude.
Well, just be honest. I didn't want it because it was like that and it was kind of flimsy. And I was like, I'm not going to use that. And really, I don't even use that one for comics. I have like some of my electronic stuff I have in there for the show. Right. And that's what I use that for just storage. Because it would do that. And like with this design, it doesn't do it.
Oh, it's a marked difference, absolutely. And it made me an instant fan as well.
Yeah. So you got some, I got more.
Woo!
They even sent me, they must have been watching. And in fact, I know that they watch. Because they even sent me the size box so I can put my magazine size books
is that
in
there.
Right? I'm always complaining I don't have anywhere to put them. Mm-hmm. And they sent me a box for CGCs or graded books as well.
Which you don't really have.
Yeah, so I mean, they must be watching. And I know they're watching there, so I'm running a little low on regular size bags and the 56-point board. So if you're watching right there, we can use some of those. Maybe some silver size as well. There you go. But hey, Tony. Hey, Joe. How you guys doing?
Love you guys.
We'll see what happens.
Right.
But anyway, I really like those boxes. And here's the thing about those boxes. You can get them on their website, comicsproline.com or comicproline.com. I always add an S on there. There's no S.
It's Comic Proline.
It's Comic Proline. My apologies. But you can get them on their website, and there's a lot of imitators out there. And there's a lot of people that are trying to do these type of boxes, but they're not as good, to be honest. And these, they've gone through some design changes for the better, like I just said, and they're the ones to get. So if you see other ones out there that aren't Comic Proline, skip them and just go with the Comic Proline ones.
Absolutely.
And they have these plastic handles. I want to show these. And I guess it doesn't matter what way you put them in there as well. I had an argument with someone like a year ago. You had them on upside down. It doesn't matter. Either way, it doesn't matter, But it protects your hands.
For sure.
So there you go. You can have that as well.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
You get an extra one. Apparently, if they send you a whole bunch, they give you one extra one.
The just-in-case handle.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. That's our Comic Proline product review. Hopefully they enjoyed that. We enjoyed the product. Let's go with our first 5, and you are up first.
Sure thing. I brought a bunch of variants today since we're talking about variants. And this first one is an exclusive variant by Clayton Crane. I think that's Symbiote Spider-Man #1.
I got one of those.
I know you did.
Yeah.
This one is the Immortal Hulk 17 Battle Lines variant with the Hulk Buster on there. Here's another Clayton Crane exclusive variant, the Wolverine #1. And then I got Spider-Man number 799. That's the Perillo variant.
Nice.
And last one, everybody knows this one. It says Justice League number 8, the Jim Lee, and that is an incentive variant.
Nice.
That's my first 5.
There you go. Not bad. I'm up next. Let's see. I might have some variants. So this was actually sent to me from Mr. Miracle Comics. And this is really cool because he's from Canada. Do me a favor, go check out his channel, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. He's a very talented guy, and we'll get to that at the very end. But I have Captain Canuck #1. Look at that.
Captain Canuck.
I've never had one of those before.
That's awesome.
Very cool. Another one of my friends sent me some stuff. You guys might know this guy. This is that Comic Tom guy. He has some kind of channel.
Who's that?
I don't know. He does some top 10 list or whatever. But he sent me Maestro #1. That's his exclusive.
The exclusive Comic Tom variant.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he's messing with me. He sent me a Momoko cover. I don't even know what book that is. This is exclusive. He's messing with me. It's actually not bad.
Right.
He picked a good one to send to me.
Bueller now has a Momoko book in his collection.
He sent me this one, another one of his exclusives. I don't remember what it's called, to be honest. I think it's, I don't even remember. It's from Scout Comics. And then he sent me another one of his exclusives because he doesn't sell them separately. So if he has some left over, he gives them out, as giveaways or to his friends or whatnot. So there you go. He knows I don't sell them either, so that's why he sends them to me. So he sent me that one, and I don't know what that one is either, but it's cool looking. And then back to Mr. Miracle Comics. He sent me this, and this is something a little bit different.
It's amazing.
But he drew this, and that is awesome.
Awesome.
Silver Surfer, what do you call it? Not a facsimile, but an homage to it, But he drew that. A very talented person, okay? Do me a favor, go check out his channel, Mr. Miracle Comics. Obviously, you can see the guy's got talent. I'll put a link down below in the description. But that is absolutely fantastic. And he gave me a chin, which I appreciate. In real life, I don't really have much of a chin. So
I don't get jealous of many things in my life, but you sent me a picture of that, and I was like, oh, that is so cool. So well done. Awesome artwork. Go check him out. But, man, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. There's another piece of artwork heading my way pretty soon. It's me as Lobo. I don't know if you've seen that
I saw that.
Yeah.
That was so great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that one as well. And they're using the same picture, I noticed.
Yeah.
From my thumbnail. Yeah, so they're all going to look the same. So it's pretty cool. But Mr. Miracle, thank you so much, man. I love it. He sent me another book. He also autographed it for me as well. It's a Spider-Man Canadian version of the book. But I love them all, man. Appreciate it. And this one will always be in my collection. I love artwork like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm on a comic. Well, I'm on a comic book backing board. Good enough, right?
Good enough.
All right, let's switch gears here. Let's go ahead and go to our good friend Robbie and see what his pick of the week is.
Hey everybody, I'm Rockin' Robbie Billups from Pop Culture Philosophers. I hope you're enjoying the all-new Coffee and Comics show with Bueller and Bob. It's one of the best shows out there, and my pick of the week is...
Ice Cream Man Quarantine Comic Special. This was also my pick of the week. It's fantastic. There is a number of comics that came out during the quarantine that they were putting out. I think it was like $2, and you got like 4 or 5 pages. Not your normal Ice Cream Man story, but really well done. I got the first couple, and I really wasn't thinking this was going to be a great one. Sure. But Robbie is so right. This is such an amazing comic. The stories inside, there's like, I don't know, like 10 different stories, and they're all amazing. Yeah. But some of them really resonated deep, so it's awesome stuff.
So that originally wasn't his pick of the week. His original pick of the week was the Bill and Ted.
That's right.
And because that's what he told me. But he switched up when this came out because obviously he hadn't read it yet. And or maybe hadn't read all of them and stuff. He still liked the Bill and Ted one, but this is his official pick of the week. It doesn't count for the Thunderdome.
No.
Because we're still sticking with the Bill and Ted. And if you're not familiar with Thunderdome, go check out my top 10 video. It might have just claimed its first victim, to be totally honest. We'll find out more on Tuesday.
There we go. But my pick on the Thunderdome was the but my pick on the Thunderdome was the Trinity death metal book, whatever it was. Trinity Crisis. Never mind. Forget about it, man. Just go for it.
So, Go ahead. Go ahead. Redo it.
Let me calm down for a second. Okay. But I also changed my pick of the week as well. My pick of the week on the Thunderdome was the Trinity Crisis from Death Metal, but once I read this, amazing.
I agree. Great pick by Robbie. Do me a favor, go check out his channel, Pop Culture Philosophers. He does the best reviews on YouTube. His video comes out every Tuesday night. He reviews 40, 50, 60 books every Tuesday night. You can find out all the great books that are coming out on Wednesday. He does a great job. It's a featured channel on our homepage, and his link is down below. Let's go ahead and switch up gears once again and go to our topic of the week. And our topic is brought to you by Blackbox Comics. And our topic this week is variants. Are they out of control? I mean, there's a lot of things with variants. We really want to hit on a bunch of different things, but a lot of different opinions on variants. We've hit on this topic before. It was last year, 9 months ago, when we talked about variants. Mm-hmm. A lot has changed over the last 9 months. The comic industry is totally different than what it was 9 months ago.
For sure.
Some things are gone, some things are staying the same, but we wanted to hit on this topic yet again. So, Bob, you were up first with the first comment. You got Torrin Johnson, I believe.
All right. The variant market is insane. First, it's insulting to the customers when there's a great artist doing the variant, then have so-so or even terrible artwork inside. It's a bait and switch to newer collectors or those who aren't into variants. Second, it puts the retailers in a bind who have to order an unholy amount of copies to even qualify to order certain variants. The LCSs are stuck trying to sell 100 copies of Howard the Duck #1. Impossible, because they really wanted the J. Scott Campbell variant. And many of these variants and ratio covers don't hold their value in the long run, so the only winners in the variant game are the publishing companies, Marvel, DC, etc., who are just trying to pump up their sales numbers.
So, this topic kind of hits on LCSs, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about on this one. The LCSs do get stuck holding all these books. I mean, he's just using Howard the Duck as a representative for that. But it doesn't matter what the book is. You know, it seems like every book right now has a ratio variant. And I think we talked last time about ratio and incentive.
Right.
There's actually not a difference. Every ratio variant is an incentive variant.
That's right.
Every incentive variant isn't necessarily a ratio variant. And the reason a ratio is based on a number. That's what a ratio means. 1 to 1, 1 to 5, 1 to 10. Incentive variants, kind of the same thing, 1 to 1. But there's also other types of incentives. Did they buy this many copies of another book? If they do, they're incentivized to get this book. So it's not, that's the difference between the two. The ratio is always the number-based. Incentive can be number-based and then other things as well.
That's right.
But with the ratio variants, and that's kind of what he's referring to, they do. They get stuck holding the bag on all these books that nobody wants. And I know that, say you have a 1 in 100 book, okay, and you can sell that 1 in 100 book for quite a bit more money and make up the cost. You're only satisfying one customer. One customer gets satisfied for that one book that they get. I think that the companies are doing it wrong. I think that Marvel, DC, whoever you want to name, it doesn't matter. I think that if it's a 1 in 100, I think if they order 100, they should be able to order more than one of those books. If they're already ordering 100 copies of the single book, let them order 5 copies of the 1 in 100 ratio. Not another 100 books to qualify again, or whatever it is. They need to open that up a little bit more. Because, like I said, they're only satisfying one customer. They're only getting one copy of that book. That is not a solid business model. And then you got all these other books that are just taking up space, and comic shops hate it. Comic shops hate looking on the sales floor and seeing 50 copies of this book, and knowing that if they look next month, there's probably going to be 49 of the books. So it really puts the LCS in a disadvantage because they're not satisfying as many customers as they want. They're not getting all the product that they want, and they're stuck with the product that they don't want, and they're not able to sell it.
I hear what you're saying, but there's a piece of this I don't agree with, and I'll tell you why. Because look, people who own these LCSs, they've been in the game for a while. They know what they're getting into. They know exactly what they have to buy, what they don't have to buy to make a profit. And so, they've got to use some common sense. Is this something that's going to actually benefit me in the long run to satisfy that one customer and gain the money that I want off that one book? And I'll take my chances with the others because I'm not actually losing. Yeah. Right. So they're making a market choice when they do it. So they're not getting dinged or anything. They're making the choice themselves. They don't have to buy that 100 copies to get that one copy. They're choosing to. Yeah. And so, I don't buy that the LCSs are the ones that are getting stuck, right? They're making a choice to be stuck. Yeah. And so, I do agree with you though. The model needs to be different, and because of the fact that more people want that book. Collectability, that's great for the collectability aftermarket, right? Because you got books that are more scarce than your normal book, which brings up the value, and everybody likes that. Sure. But really, when it comes down to it, you want to satisfy your customers, and when you have people that are left out, that's not it. That's not ever good. Yeah. So I agree with you, but I don't agree that the LCSs are getting stuck. They're making a choice to do that. Yeah,
they're making a choice, but I don't know too many other industries that practice that.
No, I don't either.
As far as like the publishers or Diamond or whoever makes this up, as far as like, buy this many, we'll give you something else. I don't know of too many industries that practice that type of thing, and or any of them that's worked out in the long run. So I don't. The reason why I have a problem with it is because I don't think it's a healthy way to do business on their end. Why a publisher does that, I don't know. I've always said, Absolute Comic Group does this, okay? They sell their variants for more. You can buy them, okay? The regular book is $4. The variant cover is $19.99 cover price. I like that. I like the option of a comic shop saying, okay, I'm going to buy 4 of the regulars, and I'll buy 5 of the $20 ones, and then I'm good. Yeah. I like that model a lot better than, hey, buy 50 copies of this and then you'll get those. Sure. I think that's a much healthier model for a business to operate because they can decide what they want to get and they're not stuck with product that probably isn't going to sell. Right. Because a lot of people want these ratio variants or these incentive variants, and they're stuck going other places than their comic shop because the comic shop just can't afford to do it.
No, they can't. And but I do agree on the fact that the publisher does make out the best on this. We have a local comic shop that I went into recently and asked, "Are you going to have that particular ratio over here, the 1 in 50?" Yeah, I'll have it if you buy the 50 books. Yeah. Right. And so now the choice is on me if I want that book. But in the long run, you're right. It's a bad business model, and it's something that I don't think is working.
Yeah. This next one is from Comic Crazy. It says, hello, we live in a crowded world with so many talented people. Exponentially more so than ever, and the industry is flooded. How many Jack Kirbys are out there now? My point is that the renaissance of comics is in full swing, and to not take advantage of the many talented artists would be a business disservice towards the bottom line. Build it and they will come, is the theme in my opinion, especially in a financially unsteady economy that's selling their soul at the moment. Thanks for the great show and insights. So he's talking about the artists, and let's hit on the artists because I enjoy artists or creators in general, okay? And the more opportunity they have, the better, all right? And I thought a lot about this. Okay? With all the incentive variants and the exclusive variants, that's giving these artists more work. Now, here's the thing, and I really thought about this a lot. There is 30 pages in a book, okay? There's plenty of opportunity for an artist to draw, to create inside of a book, okay? It doesn't need to be the cover. It's been a long time practice that multiple artists have worked on a book, or multiple artists have worked on a cover, okay? If you have an opportunity with 30 pages in a book, and I know they're not all 30 pages, but we're just throwing that out there, have an exclusive artist do some of the pages in the book. That's work that can be done, okay? Instead of just doing cover after cover after cover after cover, and hopefully somebody buys it, Just the artwork is already there. There's already an opportunity for that artist to put their name out there. And it doesn't have to be the cover, because how many times have we complained that the art inside the book is not that great?
Yeah.
But the cover art is awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
All right? Have that cover artist do 2 pages of the book.
Hey, put Shannon Muir inside of a book and have him do a couple of full pages.
Yeah, trust me, I'd buy that book.
In a heartbeat.
Have Del Otto do a couple pages in the book. Have Tyler Kirkham, not that they haven't, don't get me wrong. Have them do some pages in the book. Have Funky Cole Matina do some pages in the book.
Right.
I love it.
Oh, I would be on board in a hot second.
Yeah. So, that's my argument to the artists, okay? There's so many good, talented people out there, but it's not just about the cover. There's 30 pages that need artwork, and there's plenty of opportunity for those artists to work on those pages.
Exactly. Get rid of the crap stuff that you're pumping out and put some of these great artists on that stuff.
Yeah. All right, I got the next one here. This one is from Simon R. It says, Bueller, first off, very happy to hear you and yours are safe and sound, my friend. Thank you so much. Second, oh yes, the variant situation is absolutely nuts. Detective Comics this coming week is just, well, there's no words, not to mention Thor also. But if they didn't sell, they wouldn't put them out for the comic community to purchase. It's, and I'm ashamed to say it, all our fault. Someone out there will buy all those Detective Comic covers and probably more than one copy of each. Then, of course, they try to sell them for a quick buck. In the end, they wouldn't put them out if they didn't buy them. It's all our fault. Love the channel. Keep up the great work. Just became a Patreon member recently. Well, thank you for joining the Patreon. That's awesome. We're up to 55 people on our Patreon.
That's awesome.
Our goal is 7,000.
There we go.
We're on our way.
On our way.
So Simon raises a question, is it our fault? Are we the problem? Are we the one causing this? And I think it's a decent question to ask. And I think there's some validity to it, because I don't think companies are in the process of making product that people don't want, because nobody would buy it.
It's true.
And then they would go out of business.
Yeah.
So to a certain extent, it is our fault, because we do keep on buying the variant.
Absolutely.
Okay? They come out, we want it, we see it, it looks nice, we're visual people. Do they know we want it? Yes. Are they taking advantage of that? You better believe it.
You are. Yeah, they are.
They're like, oh, we did some market research and we're gonna this works really well.
Exactly.
But you know what? But we are. We can speak with our dollar, and we can say, no, I'm not gonna buy it. No, I'm not gonna get it. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case. He talked about the Detective Comics, okay, and they're the ones that have literally like 30 or 40 variants for that book next week.
Crazy.
Now, I look at it this way, okay? Torpedo Comics is a big, huge retailer. I think they have a big online presence as well. They have to know their market, okay? They're not going to put out a bunch of money if they don't think they're going to recoup it. So their market might be a little bit different than it would be here, because I don't think any comic shop in our area would even come close to thinking about doing that. It just wouldn't justify. They wouldn't be able to sell out.
Right.
Torpedo Comics is maybe a different animal. Maybe they know if we make 30 different variants, we're going to sell every one of them. And if they do, great. But it's not an easy thing just to pull the trigger and go for that. But, like you said, is it our fault? What's your thought? Do you think we're to blame?
We most definitely are. Look, it's been said many times, I talk about this when it comes to, comic book movie and TV shows, right? If you want them to keep creating those shows, support them with your money.
Yeah.
Go to the theater, watch it, buy the movie, because if you don't put your money down on it, they're not going to create anymore. And it's the same thing with this type of business in comics. If we weren't buying the variants, they wouldn't be doing it. So bottom line is money is driving the whole thing. If they didn't make a profit, guaranteed that would be cut. Bottom line.
I'd be curious to see that, because like we're always talking about Marvel and DC, but there's the company is more guilty than anyone is Dynamite, to be totally honest, because they just do 40, 50 variants for every issue. I mean, it's not even special. It's like literally issue 3, 40 variants.
Right.
Okay. And I don't know why they do that. And I don't see a lot of people buying Dynamite books.
No, but when it comes to Dynamite, especially like the Vampirella books, that's a niche, a collecting market.
Sure.
There are a couple of collectors out there that they collect everything Vampirella. It doesn't matter what it is, the exclusives, the ratios, and most of them are just 1-to-1 covers. They don't cost anything more. But
actually, the majority of them are ratio variants.
But they want them all, is what I'm trying to say.
But I mean, they have quite a few ones: 1 in 15, 1 in 20, 1 in 50, 1 in 100.
Right.
That means that these shops are buying that many, Vampirellas.
Yeah, I would venture to say that. I mean, there's not many shops that I go into that has a ton of Vampirella.
I don't see hardly any.
Exactly. So these are collectors that are buying those themselves to get those.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we are a little bit to blame, but I think we're being taken advantage of.
Well, I mean, of course. I mean, if you have a company that hits on something that's making a profit, they're going to start pumping more of it out. Yeah. They're going to start enticing, right? Because that's what you do to get people to buy. But we're the ones that are choosing to buy.
Yeah. All right, I got the next one as well. This one was from Ben Fong, and Ben says, "I hate them. I can understand a cover A and a cover B, and maybe a second printing of a super hot book everyone wants, but otherwise, it's out of control. Some of the cover art on multiple printings isn't even new. It's ripped from the panel from the previous issue. I hate them." So he starts it with he hates them, and he ends it with he hates them. Now, Ben always has interesting comments.
For sure.
I read him all the time, and he's very opinionated. I love the guy. But he's showing there is a disdain for variants. I mean, there is a certain collector out there that just hates them.
Vilifies them.
Vilifies them. I wouldn't go that far myself. Mm-hmm. I do have I don't like how many there are. That's the quote I want to use. I like variants. I don't like how many there are. I think it's overdone. I don't think there needs to be that many covers for every single book. Not every book needs a variant. And let me show you an example. Real quick. So I want to show this book, and everyone knows this book. All right. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows this.
Which one is it?
It's a Hulk 181.
Oh, okay.
Iconic book. Okay, it's worth a lot of money. It's the most valuable book in my collection. If there was 40 different variants for that, would that be as special as what it is right now?
Probably not.
Probably not. Not at all. If there was 40 different versions of that book, would that be as special? No, it wouldn't. This book alone holds the speciality because of what it is. Okay, it doesn't need 40 different variants to be special. It is what it is. What my point is, the variants, they're not special anymore. They're just pumped out.
See, now here we disagree.
They're just pumped out, man. They're just, how many more can we do? How many more variants can we do? What is the ceiling for the demand for the variants? And so the speciality of them, even though there's some great artwork, don't get me wrong, but they used to have kind of a, they used to be special,
right.
More special than what they are now, because they're just overdone. And like I said, if this book had multiple variants, it wouldn't be as special as it is. And I want to show another book really quick. And this one, because really they're making variants for anything right now. It's issue 1, or it's issue 13, the first book in the teens. It's a special, so let's make it a variant.
Right.
Okay, well, here's Spider-Man number 100.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's an anniversary issue. Does that need 40 different variants? No, it needs that one, because all you need is one. And that's my new phrase. I don't know if you've noticed that in my top 10 videos. It's got one cover, and that's all you need.
Uh-huh.
That makes that special. It makes it special because it just has that one. When you flood it with a bunch more, I think it loses some of the gravitas to the book. I don't even know if that's a word, but I used it.
It is.
But anyway, that's kind of how I feel about that.
So and I'm going to disagree with you on that, just on one particular aspect. Number one, I like the variants because of the fact that there's choice, and choice, that's good for comics. I mean, you got more people buying comics. Let people buy. We want the business to grow, right?
Sure.
But when it comes to collecting and the value of a comic, especially if you're collecting for value, not everybody does, but if you are, the older books, they're scarcer. They don't have as many that are in good condition because they were tossed around and used when we were kids and stuff, right? And so there's a certain value to them because they're scarce, right?
These are not scarce.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, as far as print, if you're talking about print runs, these got 10 times more circulation than what we have out now.
But it's still harder to find them in good condition.
Yeah,
right.
You're right.
Okay, but when it comes to modern books, you'll hear everybody say modern books aren't worth anything. Yeah. Well, all of a sudden we're in a position where variants are starting to cause some game. How can I say this? Value is popping on certain books in the modern age because. Right? You can't collect them all. And so one of them may be scarce over here, or one of them pops because of this. And all of a sudden, in the modern game, we have books that are jumping in value. Yeah. And that's causing another stir, which I think is good for comics.
But they're jumping because of what's in the book. They're
Really?
Well, I mean, they're jumping because it's the first appearance of Miles Morales.
Okay, there's that, right?
Okay? That's why it's jumping. It's because it's the first appearance of Miles Morales in a ratio variant. Okay, that's why it's jumping. It's not jumping because of the variant. It's jumping because of what's in the book, and there's not as many printed. Okay, it's not the variant cover or nothing like that. What's making that thing? Now there are some exceptions. And we'll actually get to that. I think I know which one you're wanting to talk about.
Well, there's a couple of them.
That and the second, third print stuff, and we'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, I think there is a disdain towards variants.
There is,
and there's a lot of people who feel that way, and I totally understand it because I do think it takes some of the speciality out of a book. Some books don't need a variant to be special. And I think these are a couple of great examples.
Absolutely. I mean, if I had a preference, these are what I would have in my collection. Yeah. But I love it.
You got the next one here.
Sure. Next one comes from Bill Nye. I don't know if you're the science guy, but he says, just getting back into collecting. I have no clue what is going on with all the variants.
You don't. And Bill, sorry. You're out of luck, man. There's no rhyme or reason to what's going on with the variants. Literally, as I'm making my video for the preview video and showing the variants, every day I check, there's another variant.
Yep.
There's another one, and there's another one. There was 55 variants for Detective. Since I've done that video, there's another 5 variants.
It's crazy.
For that book that are not on the Momoko one.
Right.
It's not on there. It popped up, along with some other ones. There is no rhyme or reason to the variants. Where do you start? Just open the book, turn the page. That's all you got to do. Buy the book, turn the page. It's the same book. You won't even know a difference. Just turn the front page.
But if you want to hop into the variant game, my suggestion would be watch Bueller's preview video because he shows all the variants. And if you do find a variant that's really good that you like, buy it, right? Yeah. And you may find out that becomes part of your collecting. It is very difficult, I agree, to get into variants just because of the fact there's so damn many of them.
Yeah, it's that's the one thing I worry about is it's intimidating to new collectors. Because I thought I had it.
Right.
Nope, you didn't.
Yeah.
And I was in the same boat. I'm like, I got the issues. I'm a completionist. I got the ones for the whole set. And then I find out, nope, there's this one, and I had no clue that there was a B cover or a C cover or an H cover. And you find all this out. I was like, oh man, I thought I had them. And it's confusing. And it's a little intimidating for a new collector.
For sure.
Jumping in and like, you mean that's the same thing as that one and that one and that one and that one? Yep, those are all the same. Just turn the front page.
Right.
I don't know. All right, Bob, you got the next one as well, my friend.
All right, so this one comes from, this is actually a twofer, right?
Yes. They kind of go together, so I stuck them together. So.
Okay, cool. So the first one comes from Jean-Claude. He says, yes, store-exclusive second or third prints are variants. I absolutely love variants, especially when the artwork is beautiful, like the Ross Timeless covers, Delato covers. Variants help to promote the artist or the comic store, which is good for the comic industry. Variants give collectors an option on rarity or exclusively when we decide to purchase. Plus, it leads to awesome Bueller Do Variants Hold Their Value videos, which is great. If you like the variant, pre-order it and pay less, or as Bueller has shown, wait till it hits the 50-cent bin. Great topic. Glad you and the family are safe.
Awesome.
So that's the first one. And the second one comes from Nivaquans. He says, multiple printings were never really considered anything other than just another print, as they only changed something small to the cover. Nowadays, they are more considered true variants, as they all have special artwork that's unique to the print. The multiple printing game is getting out of hand and makes the first print less desirable, because everyone knows before it releases there's going to be 4 prints regardless. I wish Marvel would make one and done prints again and only make second printings when the book goes beyond expectations. I feel that would increase longevity of a book from a collection value standpoint.
Okay, so both of these comments are hitting on the second, third prints.
Right.
Okay. And I kind of asked that on the question. I go, do you consider second, third prints to be variants? Mm-hmm. And right now, they're treating them like variants. It doesn't matter what printing they are, second, third, they're changing the cover. Some do use some of the artwork inside the book. They just blow it up, put it on the cover. But a lot of them have original artwork on the cover. And they're like, hey, let's put Noel on the cover. And it's the first cover appearance, third print. It has Noel on it, you know. And they're doing stuff like that. So they are becoming variants. Now, the reason I bring this up, first printing runs, okay? You make a first printing based on sales of the book, okay? Like all these orders came in from the comic shops. They go to Diamond. Diamond gets all their orders. They submit that to whoever, and then Marvel, whoever, print up the copy of the books. Okay, there you go. Those books come out. They're sold. They're gone. Done. Second printing, how I feel, shouldn't have a cutoff. Okay, second printing should be like, we're just going to make a second printing. We'll print as many as we need to print. If we need to print more, we'll still print more. Okay, there shouldn't be a cutoff on second and third and fourth, eighth printing. Okay, it keeps going. Because what they're doing is, the reason why they're going to second and third printing is not because the book is so good, because they're switching up the cover.
Right.
They're switching up the cover, and that's what's driving those sales for the second and third printing. It's not because of the book itself, okay, which is why they sold out in the first run, but they're just switching the cover up, okay? They used to do second and third printings. It used to be the same cover. They just changed the coloration of it. You know, like what was the one with Cable's first appearance? Second printing was like gold background or something like that.
Right,
you know?
right.
They just changed the background cover. That's all they did. Now it's, for the most part, it's totally new. And get a load of this. I think it was Venom 27 had a ratio variant for the second printing. Mm-hmm. So second printings have ratio variants. Order 25 copies of the second printing and you get a ratio variant for a second printing. So they're already doing that on the second printings and third printings.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I don't get it.
Okay, it may be crazy, but what I'm starting to catch here when it comes to this discussion is a lot of this comes down to personal preference.
Yeah.
People saying, I don't like this. Well, I don't like this doesn't drive the industry.
Yeah.
We keep saying we want more people to buy more comics. They came up with a way for people to buy more comics, and more comics are being bought, and people are upset over it because now that number one is has no value. Yeah. Well, you were complaining it didn't have any value before because they keep coming out with number ones.
Yeah.
So what do you want? Right? And so now the second and third print of number one becomes more valuable because it's a lower print run.
Yeah.
Now you have something.
But is it though?
Well, that we don't know. I mean, that's what we're being told. Yeah. And some of these, that's what we're being told.
I don't know sometimes,
right?
man.
Exactly.
Sometimes I see more of the second prints or third prints than I saw the first.
Well,
prints
because now people are rushing out to buy them,
yeah.
right? And so they figured out a way to stir up the market again. And again, the publisher is going to make the money if they can sell more second prints than they do the first print.
Yeah.
Look, we're the one that drove that,
yeah.
right? Then they're going to do it. And so for me, I don't really mind so much because I got the opportunity to maybe get something that's a little more valuable,
sure.
right? If I'm going for that, and I get another variant cover that I can choose from,
yeah.
I can choose not to buy it. But really, when it comes down to it, I think for some people, they look at it and they're like, I don't like this. And I think that's driving this conversation more than what's actual facts.
Yeah.
Right? Do we want more comics to be bought or do we not?
I think we obviously do want comics to be bought. We want more comics to be bought. But I think some more reputable business practices would be appreciated.
Oh, of course.
And I think some more reputable business practices would go a long way. And I don't think that those business practices are being practiced like they should be, to be totally honest. And I think to grow a business on a market and to strongly grow a business, you have to have certain principles in place. That's a good, solid foundation. And right now, that foundation is not that solid. I mean, it just kind of seems like, we're gonna try this, and we're just gonna, this will work. People will buy it. We'll buy it just because it is. Mm-hmm. And I would much rather feel as though that it's more solid. For one, I think the second and third prints probably devalue your first print book a little bit. I think that has a little bit of say. The third print of like Venom 3 or whatever it is, okay, that one is worth more than number one,
right?
Or the first print and stuff because of the cover. Did it make the first print go down in value a little bit because that one's more desirable? Maybe a little bit, but it's a slippery slope when you look at it like that. I just kind of I see the practices. I would like to see them, a second printing, be unlimited and not take advantage of our need to collect everything, because I think that's kind of what they're doing. I think they're taking advantage of, a lot of people like to complete their collection, okay? They like to have all the stuff. So it's like, we're just going to put it on another cover. We're just going to do another cover, and we're going to do an incentive for a second printing or a third printing. That's overkill, man. That's overkill. Just print more copies of the first book.
Right.
Just print more. If the demand is there, just print more.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think in some cases we're splitting hairs because people were complaining that first prints didn't mean anything anymore, and now we have a first print, not first print, number one didn't mean anything anymore, and now we have a number one that all of a sudden has meaning because they've got a fourth printing, and it's got a different cover on it, which makes it an incentive, and then also possibly is a lower print run, which makes it an incentive. And so now I have a number one comic that could have value, and so you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, you can.
Love this.
You can always have things both ways.
There we go.
Okay, you'll like this one.
All right.
This one is from Cullum Farmer. Says, I love a variant cover as long as they are roughly the same price of the A cover. The current 3 Joker run, I think, is a good example. Numerous different covers you get all for the same price. I can't really justify paying 20, 30, or even £50 more just to get the same book but with a different cover. If that's your thing, then by all means go ahead. But for me, if I was going to spend that much, I'd rather just get 20 different comics. So I want to put this to you because I know you've been the victim of this. Mm-hmm. The prices go up immediately on these exclusive books.
Yeah.
And we've had this conversation. You're like, man, I wanted to get this book. Mm-hmm. It's coming out 12 o'clock. Got my internet all speeded up. I reset my modem. I'm good to go. I'm going to place an order.
Yep.
Damn, I didn't get it.
Yep.
30 seconds in. Okay. $19.95. I go check out the web, eBay. 10 minutes later, $50.
$100.
$100, man.
Pisses me off.
I know it does. You're already fired up.
Well, because bottom line, we talk about business practices, right? What's going on is they're actually offering these exclusive variants, and they don't put a limit on how many can be bought. And so you got companies that specialize. I don't want to say companies, but private buyers and sellers that are specializing in buying up a bunch of these books at once and then offering them for a high price on eBay immediately. And so people like me who just want to buy one, I'm not trying to buy a bunch. I'm not trying to sell them. If I see a cover that I really want that cover, and I don't mind spending the $30 or $40 to get it.
I'd rather spend $4.
I know you would, right?
Well, wouldn't you?
If it was being offered for that, sure. Right? So there's actually two things in this. Yeah. So the first practice is this. The actual retailer that's offering this exclusive variant will take and offer a book. You can get the trade, which is cost you like $12 to $20. But the one that I want is that version variant. They're going to make me buy the trade and the version variant for a higher price. And I got to pay $50 just to get that.
So you got to pay more for less art.
Basically. That's a great way of putting it. So there's the first practice, which I hate because they're basically,
it'd be like going to McDonald's and telling them to hold the lettuce, and they charge you more.
Right. That's great. Oh, you know what? Okay. Anyway, but they hold you over a barrel if you want to get that particular variance. That's the first business practice I just don't like. Yeah. The second one is they don't put any limits on these guys that come in and buy. They immediately they click. There's only 1,000 of them. Just say there's right, and they're gone in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't even have a chance. And it's like, and I know they're in business. They got to make money. I mean, they don't care. They just want to sell them.
Sure.
But really, when it comes to the little guy who just wants to get that one comic, he's being pushed out by these guys who are trying to just flip and make a buck and take advantage of everybody because it's gone. Yeah. Hate it.
Yeah, I know you do.
Absolutely. Now, there's times where I've gotten in and gotten some of those great books, and I've just bought the one. And some of them have popped really, really, really high and large, which is great. But for the most part, I'm not buying it because I want to just immediately flip it and make a buck off of it. I did that with the Momoko book.
Sure.
Right? But bottom line is that more times than not, I'm finding that I am not in on what is there.
Yeah. I mean, you know this. I've never done that.
I know you haven't.
I've never.
And I don't think you ever will.
Yeah, it's never appealed to me, really. I love them. Don't get me wrong. I think they're beautiful covers. And they look great. And like you just said earlier, it's personal preference. It's up to you, whatever you want to get. And a lot of this conversation does have to do with personal preference. And there was a lot of comments in here there was over 200 comments within the first day, and almost 90% of them were like, "It's crazy. It's out of control. There's too much. For me, I've always been on the boat to where if I don't get it, I don't get it. I don't worry about it. I just move on, and next week there's new books, and whatever is there I just get available, and if it's meant to be it's meant to be it. I'll find it down the road for pennies on the dollar or something like that. But I know you, and I know that you're out there. You've told me, like, man, today's the day. And he gets all frustrated, and he's like, damn, I missed out. I didn't get my Shannon Muir cover.
Yeah.
And I love Shannon Muir, but don't come around. That's kind of the way I look at it, right?
Right.
But I just wanted you to comment on that because I know you get a little salty.
I do, man. I get upset about it.
Okay, I got the next one here. This is from Kawazy Joe 27, spelled with a K-W, I don't know. It says, wow, are we going back to the 90s where at that time there were numerous variants? Man, Detective 1027 variant covers are out of control. Okay, so 90s always gets brought up all the time. This is not the 90s, okay? Oh, there's too many variants in the 90s. No, there wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
There wasn't. It's not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, was there variants? Yeah, but nothing close. 10% of what is out today.
If even that.
If even that. I mean, the variants weren't the problem. There was variants. X-Men had some variants and stuff. Some other ones did as well. But was there any variants for Spawn #1? Was there?
Well, yeah, there were, but they came out later.
Yeah, they came out later. The variants were pretty much New Stan and Rayler was the variant, okay? Spawn #1. All the Image comics came out in the 90s. Not a tremendous amount of variants. That wasn't the problem. The problem was they just made too many. That the print runs were enormous. And then the outside collector got burnt.
Yeah, and then you had a lot of outside collectors that were spec buyers that didn't care about comics at all, that were buying 20, 30, 40, 50 copies and blowing up the market.
Yeah. So when I hear people say, "Oh, it's just like the variants in the 90s," you're wrong. You're wrong. There was variants, but not even close to the degree what it is now. The big thing back then was the chrome covers or the shine. I love those.
Yeah, the gimmick covers.
Yeah, the gimmick covers. That wasn't their thing, but it wasn't like tremendous.
Yeah, I think the first one that had variant covers was the X-Men #1, Jim Lee. You had 5 different covers that were all part of the same big fold-out cover, and I think that's the one that most people key on because it's the highest sold comic of all time.
Yeah, that one had a few, and they were great.
I love that cover.
They were awesome. And then the Batman, the Dark Knight one, they had the 4 different colors.
4 colors,
It was just the color variation. Mm-hmm. And there's a few other ones. We're missing some. But my point is, it's not the same beast that it is today.
Yeah.
There is a variant for every single comic that comes out and multiple variants. When I do my thing, I'll pull up my Marvel list, okay? How many different Marvel comics are coming out this week? 15. Mm-hmm. And then I update it with the variant. It goes from 15 to 110. Still 15 comics, but when you add in the variants, it's over 100.
Yeah.
Okay? That is not the case in the 90s. maybe it was 15 comics coming out, and at the end you add the variants, maybe 20 comics.
Yeah, exactly. And it was usually for one single issue, like Spider-Man #1.
Yeah.
You know, but
I just wanted to point that out because it gets compared to all the time.
All the time.
And I think it's just some misinformation that got strewed down the line because it wasn't. I mean, go in the 90s, go in your 90s collection and find a book that has more than a handful of variants or a multiple run that has a variant for every single copy.
Yeah.
You're not going to find it. It's just not there.
Yeah.
All right, you got the next one here.
All right, so the next one comes from Age SJ. He says, thanks for including the exclusive variants.
Man, that's a long one.
That's a long one.
So, in my preview video, I try to include all the exclusive variants because I realize that a lot of people buy stuff online. And there's a lot more covers available than just what you're going to find at your local LCS.
Right.
There's tons of covers. I mean, like I said, there's the Detective Comics, there's 10 regular covers, maybe a little bit more, and then there's another 50 variant exclusive covers that you can only get through certain shops or online. So that's why I show all the covers, because I realize we're not just limited to going down the street to the store. So, and there's a lot more stuff out there available for you to get if you want to get that.
Sure.
Now, let's talk about exclusive covers for a little bit, because what is an exclusive cover? Exclusive cover is pretty much the comic shop or person or YouTuber or whoever has allocated an amount of books. They've commissioned an artist, and they've gone to a publisher and said, hey, we would like to, get this book. We have an artist. We want to get our exclusive cover. We'll pay for the artist. We'll pay for the books. There's a certain amount you have to buy to qualify for it. Every publisher has a different one.
Yeah.
Some as low as a couple hundred, some as high as a couple thousand, depending on what the minimum purchase is. And then you can go from there. The biggest thing is, that as far as cost, is the artist. And you normally have to pay for they like to sell the original art as well. So it's a big chunk of money to get the commission done to have that cover. Now, as a publisher, this is kind of where I kind of contradict myself, because I kind of like, I'm kind of giving them a hard time. But if I'm a publisher or a company and somebody comes to me and says, hey, we want to buy 500 books, we're going to pay for those books, we're going to pay to have the artist, as a company, you would be stupid to say, nope.
Exactly.
So I kind of contradict, I totally own that, and they open the door to as many people as they want to, as many people who want to make covers. They're like, yeah, sure, why not? And I get that, and companies trying to make money. Does it get out of control sometimes? With Detective Comics, it does, man. I mean, do they need to make that many? Probably not. And does it bring the specialness of a cover down when there's so many to choose from? Probably a little bit, But with the exclusive covers, like our buddy Tom, he's got exclusive covers that he puts out in his mailbox. Some of those I've enjoyed more than others, and some of those I just pass on, even though he sent me the Peach Momoko one. What are you going to do? But I like that one, so it's okay. But, I will say this. I am currently in the works to have an exclusive, or it's going to be an unofficial exclusive Comics with Bueller cover. It's going to be a very small print run. It's unofficial, and the reason why it's unofficial is because I'm not making a dime off it. And, it's just a mutual friend put me in contact with some other people, and we've worked them out. I'm going to promote it and stuff like that. So it's kind of the first unofficial exclusive comic for Comics with Bueller. Like I said, unofficial. Doesn't have my logo on it, but I'll be promoting it and stuff.
Congratulations.
And it's done by one of my favorite artists and a friend of mine. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of why I wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm a big fan of hers, and the more I can do to help out her and help out this comic shop that I'm partnering with, the more. So that's coming up. I'm excited to do that. You know? And like I said, these companies, if you go to them and say, hey, we want to pre-buy all these books, they're going to say yes.
Absolutely.
Because,
they'd be crazy not to.
Yeah. So,
and it's great for the artist, too, because, artists sometimes, lives and dies on selling prints.
Yes.
And, if Comic-Cons are not happening, I'll tell you what, a great way to sell your prints is the cover of a comic book.
Exactly.
And so it's a win-win situation, I think, all the way around.
Yeah. Okay, Bob, you got the next one here.
Well, this one is in all caps.
Yeah, and we're just reading it because we want to read it.
This one comes from Scott Kernan, And he says, the variant is just another way to rip all of us off over and over again. It is one of the ways they boost sales on garbage titles. There are too many, and they don't hold value. I'd rather buy real, rare vintage books than fake, new, rare ones.
There you go.
There you go.
We just want to read. It's all in capitals.
He's upset.
Yeah. You know what? It does boost sales. It does give a false sales figure for a book. I mean, he's absolutely right, and they're aware of that. It's not a true sales ratio because, if it's a 1 in 100 books, they sold 100 books at that comic shop, but that comic shop didn't sell 100 books.
Nope.
Or maybe they sold a few. So you really, it's kind of like you know how many tickets you sold to a movie, okay, but you don't know how many comics were actually sold out the front door.
Right.
So
exactly.
I got the next one here. This one is from Nathaniel Manzi. I mean, there is no reason to be upset or to complain. No one is forcing you or the shop owner to buy the incentive variants. No one is forcing you to buy the ordinary A cover either. You don't have to gripe about everything comics. Hey, that's the name of your channel. Just buy whichever one looks the best to you and is within your budget. No need to get mad at other readers and collectors, shop owners, or publishers. To me, it seems like the ones who benefit the most are the artists. It gives more of them a chance to get involved and get their work on a book. And it just generates more interest in the books, which is what we need for the industry to thrive. Sure, there is some soulless marketing involved, but it's not so rotten. If there was only one cover for every book, I guarantee it wouldn't be as enjoyable or interesting to collect. And that is coming from someone who prefers the first A and a particular variant as an extra copy. I do love my one per shops or incentives. It's gotta be a book I like and the artwork that looks good. So there was more to this comment, but I just wanted to read the first thing. Mm-hmm. I'll be totally honest. And we talk about personal preference, but I think, I honestly think it's a problem. Okay. I think that the business practices are not healthy. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's not sustainable in the long run. I think we're losing comic shops every day. The comic shops numbers are going down. They're not going up. And is it because of some of these business practices? It could be, okay? There's a lot better way to do business or to grow business, and I don't think that the publishers have adopted that yet. So to turn a blind eye and say, oh, just buy what you want, don't pay any attention, I think that you can do that, but I think in the long run, it does affect you whether you realize it or not. Just because of this, you want to have a healthy industry. And nobody is going to sit here and tell you, oh, the comic industry is thriving, man. I mean, it's so healthy. I mean, we are literally just a few hundred shops away from there not being Diamond. The Diamond almost shut the doors. And they could be shutting their doors within the next few months. Then what happens, okay? The whole industry changes. Everything changes. That's not the way you want it, okay? Look at DC. Is DC healthy, comics?
Nope.
No, they're not healthy, all right? So some business practices need to change. Whether this is one of those, it's just the piece of the puzzle. There's many things that would probably have to change to bring this industry up. Advertising, for one. That's the big thing. Make people aware that they're comic books. Make the kids aware that there are books out there that you can buy and read. Put them somewhere where they will go and buy them. Do something to promote them. We see advertisements in every comic for the movie, okay? Put the advertisements in the movies for the comics. That's an easy, no-brainer thing to do. Go watch Captain America in the movie theater, have an advertisement for the Captain America Alex Ross cover. Why not? Why wouldn't you do that? There's all sorts of little things that are pieces to the puzzle, and I think this is just one of them.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can just turn your head and say, oh, not my problem. Because we're all part of it.
Absolutely.
We've said this from the very beginning. We're all pieces of the puzzle. We all have to work together. You can't just bury your head in the sand and say, oh, it's going to be fine. Because you wake up the next day and your shop is gone.
Absolutely. I think that would possibly be a really good subject to do on a whole other video.
Yeah.
Come up with suggestions on what we can do to make the industry right.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear from LCS owners like our good buddy Dwayne.
Sure.
Right. And to find out, what are the things that we could do, to make good business practices that benefit everybody, that keeps us thriving. I think that'd be a great subject.
Yeah. All right, you got the last one here, Bob.
All right, the last one comes from your friendly neighborhood banker. He says, I've really enjoyed and purchased some of the exclusive variants out there. I like the fact that I can get more work from artists like Shannon Mayer. My problem is sometimes I don't even know an exclusive variant exists until it's too late to order, as there are so many now. There are no previews book I can look at that actually list all of them in advance. There is no reason I should miss out if I'm willing to give my money. Just to add, you who are so great at giving us these previews videos also get exhausted trying to keep track where all these variants are accessible. Imagine how confused the rest of us are. This is a great one.
Yeah.
All right, and so I'll just tell you, I'm with him on this because I love the exclusive variants. And I just this week, I found 2 that I didn't even know were out there that I would have bought. And I'm like, how could I have missed this? Because I thought I had my bases covered.
Sure.
And I actually didn't. It was our good buddy Derek Magnus who came on one of the forums I didn't even know he was on.
Yeah.
And he said, you got to sign up to that particular comic shop's mail, their mailer that goes out in the email so that you can get alerted to it. And so I've had to broaden my horizon on how to find these particular variants before they're actually sold out. Yes. But it's a problem.
It is a problem. And there's really, like I said before, they pop up out of nowhere and you have no idea. It's like, and they keep it a secret for quite a while. And all of a sudden, oh, nope, here's this one, here's that one. And just like even ones that have been out like a year, you'll find ones that you didn't even know had different exclusive variants.
Right.
Action Comics 1000 came out. Okay, there was a ton of variants for that, and I thought I had them all. And then there was like 10 more variants from overseas in Australia, and all this other stuff. And I tried to get those. I'm like, where'd that come from?
Right.
There's no rhyme or reason. Mm-mm. It's pretty much, hey, can we make a variant? We'll buy these books. Yep, go ahead. And it's if you got the money to make it happen, they'll let you do it.
Right.
And like I said, I understand that business practice. It is what it is. But as far as trying to keep track, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, and I think some of it's shady. I think some of it, they deliberately make sure that it's not out there so that when it all of a sudden does come out, the value of it goes up and they can pump out books for higher than they would have sold it originally.
Yeah, I remember I did a top 10 video, and I think I had the Harley Quinn issue 75, and there was a photo cover of the girl that plays her in the movie. I can't remember her name, but people are like, where's that from? Right. Where is that from? And I had multiple comments looking for that. And I go, it's from some Comic-Con down in South Dakota or something like that. I don't know. I found it, and I put it in there because it exists.
Right.
And then, sure enough, somebody found it, and it's selling for $200.
Yeah.
I don't have any idea what the print run on it. It can't be a lot.
No.
But I mean, there's variants you've never heard of for books that are out there, exclusive variants. I mean, you would have no idea that they existed.
Yeah.
If you didn't do a lot of research. And I'm talking a lot of research because I miss stuff all the time. And like I said, it changes daily.
It does.
It's like every day. I mean, even today, Venom 28 was supposed to come out next week, okay? I had it on my list. It would have been in the video, but it got pushed back, okay? I can tell you right now, there's already 25 variants for it.
I know.
I was like, why is there so many variants for this? And there was another book on my list, and I was like, there was like 8 variants. I'm like, why is there so many variants for this? And I really didn't know why. I think it was the X-Men book that comes out next week. Mm-hmm. There's literally like 8 or 9 variants. I don't think anything special. It's issue 12.
Right.
I can't think of anything special, and I'm looking at it, and some store exclusives on there, and they decided to pick it up. I was like, okay, I don't know.
Right.
You'll have to wait and see. But I can tell you right now, the Venom one for next week, or the week after, already has 25 variants, and by the time I get to making that video next week, it'll probably have another 10 variants on it.
It's crazy.
And they're all exclusives because it's a hot title.
Yeah.
And they're jumping all over it.
Yeah.
So, your friendly neighborhood banker, it's almost impossible.
It really is.
I do my best on my preview video to show as many as I can, and some you're not even going to find. The best thing, I put down on there the artist. Search them on Google. Go to their website. That's a good one. Mm-hmm. Mike Mayhew does a lot of exclusives for comic shops and stuff.
Right.
You can get those on his website.
Yep. Same with Tyler Kirkham.
Yeah, just go straight to his website. You can probably get them for cheaper, and he'll sign them for you.
Yeah.
And you'll pay less money. So a lot of these artists that do these, just search them, and then go in there and go directly to their website. You'll probably get it for a lot cheaper.
Exactly. Yep.
So basically, that's our topic finally for the variants. Like I said, it's going to be a long video. We still got some more stuff to talk about. But this topic has been around forever, and it's not going away anytime soon. Not a lot of people agree on this topic. Obviously, me and Bob have some disagreements about it. But that's okay, because that's what makes this hobby so special.
For sure.
Is because even though we don't agree on a lot of things, we still love comics.
Absolutely.
And just like you're watching here, you might not agree with what I said or what Bob said. You still love comics. And that's what's the most important. So,
absolutely. Looking
forward to next week's conversation. That should be interesting as well. But this one was a good one, and we don't have to visit it for another 9 months.
There you go. But you can look forward to it.
Yeah, it comes up all the time anyway, so what are you going to do? So let's go ahead and shift gears, and let's go ahead and get to our final 5. How about that?
Sounds good to me.
You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
All right, so again, I brought a bunch of variants. This is, I don't even know which book this is, but this is Tyler Kirkham. It's one of the Venom and Spider-Man variants. I just love that cover. And then I brought a Deceased number 4 Matina cover.
I got one of those coming.
Love those.
I want it.
This is The Flash number 43. This is a variant done by Mr. Finch himself, and I love that one because it had Gorilla Grodd on it. And then here's another Matina cover with Wonder Woman, Deceased. And then I love this Flash cover. I don't remember who did it. I don't know if it was Matina. I think it's Matina as well. Is that Matina?
It's McFarlane.
Is what? But there's my final 5 variants.
That's pretty good.
Thanks.
All right, I got mine. So I got this one. Sam gave me this one. Marvel Fanfare number 29. I like that Hulk. He signed it right there on Hulk's underpants.
That's awesome. How you doing, Sam?
How you doing, Sam? And then I got these. I'm getting the whole set of these. It's a variant. It's the Alex Ross Timeless variants. I think he's got a dozen or so coming out. So I'm getting them all. The nice thing about this, they're not ratio variants. They're just 1 for 1. So, I mean, you can just order them at their cover price. This series comes to an end. This is one of my favorites. Join the Future, number 5. I loved it. I read the finale. I'm hoping they do more. I don't know if they are, to be totally honest. I sent a message to Zach. He's like, yeah, let Aftershock know. So I left them a message as well. I'm hoping there's more, but if it's the end, I was pretty happy with it. This one is a great one by Vault, Cult Classics, Creature Feature. Love that book as well. If you like horror comics, this is one to get. And then an old one, we got to give some Stiltman love. 237 of Spider-Man. Stiltman
without Daredevil. Awesome.
Yeah, he was in the Daredevil run, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's not his first appearance or nothing.
No.
But just it's kind of a cool cover.
Yeah.
And that's just regular. It didn't make a variant of that one.
Nice.
Just one cover. So there you go. Those are our final 5. A nice variety of variants, regular covers, and some independent books, stuff like that. But let's go ahead and go to our next segment. Let's go ahead and go to our giveaways. Let's give some stuff away.
Let's give some stuff away.
Yeah. So let me tell you, I'll put these down. Those mine, yep. Let me show you this right here, because we have giveaways, new ones, but these are the ones from last week. I'll just put these up here. There's a couple sets of each one of these. The winners from last week, we have our Patreon winner, which is Kelly Radiff. Kelly, you are the winner, the Patreon winner. Congratulations. And then for our regular winner, because we have 2 sets, Grayson Red, you are the winner for the signed autograph copy of that. And there's a It's Alive book as well. So congratulations to our winners. Just contact me. I think Kelly has my information, but the email is down below. You just send me an email with your information, and we will send it out to you. I want to apologize. Last week I was going to send out confirmation emails with tracking numbers for all the giveaways we were going to send out. We were evacuated from the house. I think we kind of explained that, and things kind of got really interrupted. So I'm going to get all that taken care of this week. Hopefully we don't get evacuated and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So things were kind of up in the air last week. My apologies. So we're about a week behind. But let me go ahead and jump to this week's giveaway, because we have giveaways for this week. And where are they? I got them right here. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's do this. So 2 different giveaways. We have Young Avengers number 1 variant, Scotty Young, autographed by Scotty Young. This is for our Patreons. And not only that, like I said, these are provided by Comic Pro Line, by the way. We also have Maestro number 1, the Comic Tom exclusive. Our buddy Tom sent us books to give away. That's pretty cool, right?
That's awesome stuff.
So there you go. That's for our Patreons. And then we have this one for our regular viewers, This is Uncanny X-Men. What number is this? I don't even know. It's number 502. Yeah, 502. Autographed by Greg Land. Awesome. And then we also have another copy of the Maestro number 1, the Comic Tom exclusive. And this is for people just leave a comment on the video, and you're entered to win.
That's awesome
That's
stuff.
it. That's all you got to do. So
you can't beat free stuff.
Yeah, free stuff. Tons of free stuff. There's more giveaways coming every week, all the way up to episode 100. And you know what? People are sending us stuff left and right. So we might give away some Scout books next week.
Stay tuned.
Maybe some Blackbox comics. Maybe some more Comic Tom exclusives. Like maybe this one. I think we're going to be giving that one away.
Awesome.
Next week.
That's my favorite of all his exclusives.
I know you like that one, don't
I
you?
do.
You're gonna give it away. That'll be next week.
All right.
But anyway, very cool. Make sure you leave a comment down below. That's all you got to do to be entered. And for our Patreon members, if you are a Patreon member, you're already entered. I already have your information, so you're good to go. If you want to join our Patreon, feel free to do so. The cost is $3.99, the price of one comic book a month. If you think we provide value worth one comic book a month, join our Patreon and get another chance to win more free comics. So there you go. All right, man. What else I got going on here? That's it. This is long.
It's awesome. It was a great discussion.
Oh my God. I can't take it, man. It's just, it's overwhelming.
Yeah. We do it because we love it.
But you know what? It was a great conversation. And it's I like having these conversations. I like talking about different points that we don't agree with, and just kind of going from there, because we respect each other's opinion. We don't have to agree on everything. It's not good to agree on everything.
No, it's not.
That's why I don't follow him on Facebook anymore. Anyway, Bob, how you doing? You feeling better?
Much better. The crud that I had is gone. I still don't know if it was food poisoning or if I caught a bug. I'm leaning more towards food poisoning because I wasn't really around too many people.
Bad
last
burrito,
week, so
huh?
Bad burrito. And so, but it's gone. Thank God. Back in the swing of things. Work is really hectic and crazy right now.
Yep.
But hey, you know what? Great comics are coming out, and I just love what we do, man.
Yeah, good times. Check out his channel, Everything Comics. He's got a bunch of videos. He's got another coffee video. It's kind of a rip-off of this one. But what are you going to do? You know what? He does a good job. I love it. It's one of my favorite videos. You rescheduled our other video. When are we doing that?
The battle draft. I haven't coordinated with everybody yet. I'm looking for September 25th for that.
Okay.
But I didn't want to put an actual date out until I talked to everybody first.
Okay.
But that's the one I'm looking for.
All right. So we'll be doing that later in the month.
Yep.
And we got some other stuff coming up as well.
Sure thing. I got an unboxing video on Monday night that I'm going to drop.
Oh,
Do
yeah?
a live stream on.
CGC stuff?
CGC stuff, and then I got something that I won from the boy who had 7, and I got some
nice.
stuff from him. Yeah,
Well,
so
look at you.
yeah, unboxing.
I don't do that stuff. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. This has been a fun show. Thank you to Comic Pro Line for giving us all these giveaways and all the stuff, really. The boxes are great. If you haven't checked out those boxes, please go ahead and do so. They've improved what the flaw was, and they fixed it, and they're a lot better. So, very cool. I think that's it. I don't really have much more. I got to edit this video. It'll probably take me 4 days to do that. So.
But it'll be good.
Yeah, it'll be good. All right, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You know what to do. We'll see you next time. Bye.